Hello, my name is MadMax. Welcome back to this chapter about digital sound recording. Today I want to talk about noise reduction. Background noise can be everything from the electronic noise of your microphone to trucks driving by and so on and so forth. For example, I live at a street where at the end of the street I have a truck company and there are trucks driving by the whole day, there are buses driving by the whole day, so that would be voice that I would want to eliminate. The first thing you can do to eliminate noise is to have a low-cut filter. We already talked about that. A high-pass low-cut filter. That helps. For example, the majority of the truck driving by noises and so on and so forth, that's filtered out by this already, so that's really nice. But how do you combat all the other noise? For example, electronic noise. Now, I want you to look at this bar. I will shut up for a second and just look at this bar and this number down here, which is the peak volume. And see what happens when I do not talk. You see I still have a signal, like minus 52 or so. That's the electronic noise of my microphone. And if I would go ahead and if I would boost the signal later on, this noise would be quite prevalent and you would be able to hear it. So I have to keep it out somehow. How do you do that? The easiest way to do that is a noise gate. Now, a word of warning right away. Noise gates and voice recording are two things that don't necessarily go well with each other. It's really easy to destroy your voice recording with a noise gate, but I'm using a noise gate while recording and it works well if you are careful. So what do we actually see here? Well, it's quite simple. We have input volume and we have output volume. So, for example, an input volume of 10 decibels is getting put out with 10 decibels, minus that is. But, I could put a point in here, and I could say, an input volume of 10 decibels should be an output volume of minus 90 decibels. I could go ahead and do that. Now, that also means that the diagonal that you can actually see right here, the diagonal, that is the normal setting, okay? And actually, if I go to standard, that's what we have. Because it means that every input volume has an equal output volume. Minus 80 decibels input is getting put out as minus 80 decibels. Minus 40 decibels being put in is being put out as minus 40. Now, how can you use this to eliminate noise? Well, simple. With something that looks like this. This is a noise gate. Now what this does is that at a certain point, in my case minus 35 decibels, in my case minus, 35 decibels, okay, I was right. Everything that is more quiet than 35 decibels is getting put out at a much lower volume. And that means that a lot of noise is completely eradicated from the recording, and it works really well. Just look at those two bars right here. This is input, this is output, okay? Now, you will see when I shut up that you will have noise in the input, but you don't have anything in the output. I have noise in the input, but I do not have noise in the output at all. It's completely filtered out. Right? And actually I see that if I stop talking, the noise is at about minus 50 or so decibels. Yeah, it's at minus 50 decibels. And if you take a look at my noise gate right here, minus 50 decibels, that's getting put out at minus 75 decibels. That's inaudible. Okay, so this completely eliminates your noise. Now you can also use this to eliminate breathing noises or trucks driving by and so on and so forth. But there's a problem, and I'm going to show you the problem now. Alright, so I have this recording right here, and let's say we want to eliminate electronic noise that exists. You see those little deviations? Yeah, that's electronic noise that I want to remove. And this right here, this is also noise that I want to remove, I think. Yeah, I definitely want to remove that. So a noise gate would be a good idea, right? So let's go ahead and let's add a noise gate. Now, this noise gate is actually quite advanced. There are other noise gates out there that are way easier than this one. But, let's make a noise gate at 10 decibels and let's listen to it. You want to be really also what the hell is happening? Well, what is happening is that this noise gate engages at about minus 10 decibels. It starts to engage, and the majority of the recording is below minus 10 decibels. So basically everything is removed. You want to be really also and even if I go ahead and boost this a lot, even then, you want to be really cheap, you can also buy mineral wool. So what's happening is that a lot of my voice is actually more quiet than minus 10 decibels, so it's removed completely. This noise gate is too aggressive. That means it removes part of the recording I actually want to keep. Let's look at another noise gate. This noise gate engages at minus 20 decibels. If you want to be really cheap, you can also buy mineral. Already better, but not really perfect either. So what we have to find is the point where our recording sounds as intended and where all the information that we want in the recording is in the recording, but the noise is removed. So we have to move this along the diagonal until we find this point. Wool. If you want to be really cheap, you can also buy mineral wool. For me personally, it's about this point. It's about minus 35 decibels. That's, for my recording setup, the point where the noise is eliminated, but the voice is still there. If you want to be really cheap, you can also buy mineral. Now I have a weird problem up here. If you have something like this is probably not the way to attack it. Just go ahead and cut it out manually. Now, this is not the perfect solution to all your problems. And every professional will tell you, if you have a voice recording, then go ahead and edit it manually, okay? Go ahead and edit all the breathing out manually and so on and so forth. The problem is, well, if you have a recording like this, that's like half an hour, and it's not a professional recording, it's not like a documentary or anything, then you probably do not have the time or the money or the resources to do it, and then you need to use a noise gate like I do. Alright, so that's one thing you can do to eliminate noise, and it's probably the best way you can do it. There's another way, and that is this right here. Here we go. This is a noise reduction. What I did here is I started recording, I sat really still for 5 minutes, and no other sound got recorded but the electronic noise of my microphone. What you see right here is the electronic noise of my microphone. This green line is the recorded electronic noise of your microphone. And you have to record this for your own microphone if you want to use this specific method. Now, I wouldn't use this specific method because basically what it is, it's like parametric EQ, and it will change your voice around. Usually, dynamic processing, like I showed you, in a noise gate is a better idea than this one. But you can go ahead. I could go ahead and I could, remove the noise like this. But it doesn't sound as good. Usually, dynamic processing is the way to go. My name is Matt Max. Thanks for watching this episode, and tune in next time.